Okay, so this is Broom of Doom. I'm gonna try to record some commentary for my friend. For you, my friend. Or just some things I'm noticing about this game. Because he's playing a jungle Khazix, and I'm just gonna follow him around and tell you what I notice you're doing. So, here's the first thing, is you're coming up to gank Warwick. And let's pause it right here. Because here, I don't understand why you just don't go straight in. Because he's right beside you, and you're not really going to get a better chance than this to attack him. And like all of his skills are up, all of your skills are up, he has no mana. This would be like a really good time to go in. But you hang out for a second. So let's slow this down and watch what happens. So I want to pause it right here and replay it and show you what I saw. Because what I'm going to say is that you leaped too soon. Because what happens is you leapt in and then he flashed away from you. And then you're back to square one. If you had saved your leap until after he flashed, then you could catch back up to him. But right here, what I would suggest doing is just walk out to him, scare him so that he flashes, and then hop to him. And if you had done that, maybe you would have, accomplished more in this gank. And see right here, he was super close and you didn't go in. And see, now you can't catch up to him, because you've already used your dash. So, like, you have exhaust, but you're not even in range to cast it at this point. And you don't have flash to catch up to him. So in the end, like, you burned his flash, but nothing really happened. Now right here, like right here, this happens a little earlier in the game. Lux has just killed Annie. And you should sort of know that this is going to attract the enemy jungler's attention. Because she's low health, she's near the turret, there's the fight here. There's a high chance that the enemy jungler is gonna beeline here and try to kill Lux, try to get this creeps, whatever. So I think like if you see this happen, where like your two mid laners get into a fight and one of them dies and the other one is like super low health, you should probably expect the enemy jungler to come and do something, which is what happens. And like you stop at your Wraith camp. If you had come straight to mid lane instead of stopping to doing Wraiths, maybe you and Lux could have gotten a kill on Elise right now. But instead you're farming your jungle. And if you had just like been here in the right spot sooner, then you could have gotten like a double kill instead of just one kill. Okay, so this is the next thing I want to point out. I'm gonna ask you like, what are you doing here, basically? Because let me get rid of the UI. So you come here to mid to gank, I guess, but Annie is like super far back, and she's a level below Lux. Like it's not likely that Annie is going to even try to make a play on Lux. It's more likely that Lux is just going to kill Annie if she tries anything. So your gank is kind of like a waste of time, I feel like? Because you're here for a while. Let me put it in real time. Like, see, you're still wandering around a bit. Then you come back, it's like, oh, well, maybe I should be here. Then you start wandering back away. And in the end, this didn't really, like, accomplish anything. Like, your luck should be fine by yourself. I mean, theoretically. So here, this is something I was wondering about. Let me see if you have... Because there's a ping here. And I guess you're gonna, like, you're trying to bait a counter gank, which is good. But I'm not really sure why you're standing out here, unless you just, like, sort of know that Elise is coming. And if so, like, that's good, it worked out. So if that's what you were planning the whole time, then like, thumbs up. Because this is the sort of thing I wanted you to do in the a few minutes ago, whenever Lux had just killed Annie. So first, there's a few things to point out. Wait for the replay to catch up. It is 6 minutes and 45 seconds in. So blue buff is like about to spawn, and you're going back to base. So like this blue buff is going to spawn, or you're going to be late getting to blue buff. And if you had timed your back a little better, then, you know, you could have avoided, you know, you could have killed it like as soon as it came up, and all this. Because like, you know, Elise is up here. If Elise was like intent on timing your buff, she could just like come straight here and kill it before you could even get there. Because, you know, I mean, in this situation, like, you know where she's at, it's not a big deal. But, I mean, there's gonna be like 30 seconds or so where this blue buff is just here, and you're not doing anything about it. So now, this is another mistake on your part, is this indecision. Because you're probably like trying to offer it to Lux, and Lux isn't responding. So you should just take it at this point, because it's going to waste, like, you know, just sitting here. And the longer you don't take it, the more chance it has to be taken by the enemy team, because you don't know where Warwick's at, you don't know where Elise is at. They could easily just come and take your blue right now. And like, if Lux wanted to come get your blue, she has a chance to do it. I mean, she shoved up. You know, Annie has to kill these creeps. She can't like follow her to blue. This is like the perfect time for Lux to come get the blue, and she's not doing it. So you should just like get it at that point, I think. But like I said, they could have taken this pretty easily. They could have either killed you, taken it while you were coming from the base, or taken it while you went to the wolf camp. Because Elise was missing, York was missing. And then Lux died, so you take it anyway, but... And like, I don't know if you need to like point out in advance, like type in chat log, like, I'm going to blue, be ready to get it. But, I mean, you can't... Like, I think you should give blue buff to mid lane, but if mid lane isn't ready to take it, then you should just be like, okay, I'm doing this whether you're here or not, because it's your job to be ready to get blue. And now see here, you're coming back top lane, and the main thing I want to point out is that if you're planning to gank top, you should have done it after you burned his flash. Because you came up here in the beginning of the game and burned his flash, and then you didn't come back. And now you come back, like, right when his flash comes back. Like, I don't know if you saw that or not, but it just came back. So now it's like, you know, you missed your opportunity. You created a window of opportunity to gank him, and then you didn't take it. If you were, like, camping his lane the past 5 minutes, then he would have been, like, super passive. Because his flash is down, he can't get away, you know, all that. So whenever you gank a lane, and you get them to use flash or whatever, it's a good idea to come back to that lane and, you know, pressure a bit. Now here something else is about to happen. Now we put on blue, okay. So Lux is about to die. And I don't know what you're thinking, but you're 2 levels below Annie, who is a burst caster, and you're 1 level below Elise. And I know Elise has no mana, but I'm not exactly sure what you're planning to like do here. Because you see Annie's over here, and instead of like going for Annie, you try to go on Elise, who's like full health. So like, if I were you, I would try to come around and kill Annie, because Lux is definitely dead. You're not gonna like save Lux. But let's see what happens. So then you end up dying. Just because... I guess you underestimated Annie's damage, but I mean, like, as a jungler, like, rule number 1 they need to be aware of, among other rule number 1s, is don't gank a lane whose laner can kill you very easily. And if you ever gank a burst caster as a squishy assassin jungler, they can just straight up kill you whenever they want. So you have to be very careful in how you approach people like Annie, LeBlanc, you know, Ahri, whatever. The other thing about this I noticed you doing weird is you didn't use your ultimate until right before you died. So let's go back to you and watch how you do this. Because your ultimate's up this entire time, but you never use it until you're like dead. So if you were hopping in to try to kill Elise, like, why didn't you use your ultimate sooner? And you know, that's why I don't understand what you did. Like, I don't understand what you're trying to do. Because I don't think you're gonna save Lux. I don't think you're gonna kill Elise. And if you didn't use your ultimate, it doesn't look like you were trying to kill Elise. So I'm just not sure what you're trying to do. And another thing bad about this is that you had no vision on Warwick whenever you went here into this fight. Because obviously if there's a fight here, and you don't know where this guy's at, it's probably a bad idea. So here, I just want to point out that I think this would have been a really good opportunity to go for Dragon, because you just killed their jungler, and there's 4 of you in mid lane, and Leona is guarding this turret, so, and bot lane is pushed up, so I think this would have been a really good opportunity to take Dragon, because you're not realistically going to kill this tower with like this creep wave and her defending it and everything, probably. So in the end, everyone just sort of like wobbles around mid, not accomplishing anything. But you realize that and you go to red, but you could have done the dragon instead. So I didn't think about items. I wanted to talk about you buying a Tear of the Goddess, because junglers don't have a lot of money, don't have opportunities to make money, and whenever you buy a Tear of the Goddess, you're sort of like, you're investing in the future, and as a jungler, you don't really have the chance to invest in the future, I feel like. Like, this does nothing for you, really, and it gives you mana and mana regen, which is important, but in like a fight, it's not going to help you that much, I think. And then there's the question of like, how long does it take you to charge this? And like, I'll go ahead and tell you that you don't charge this tier until like the 37-minute mark of the game. So it takes you like half an hour to charge this tier up to the Muramana. So like, I don't know what the typical charge time is, since they've changed the tier charging rate, but I don't know if that is worth it to me, to like, to take the little gold you get as a jungler, and to put it into a tier, which doesn't really help, like in a fight, or anything, and then, which also has the condition of needing to be stacked over the course of the game into, you know, a Muramana. So I don't know about this item. I mean, maybe it's good, maybe it's not, but it seems like sort of a weird choice to me. Okay. So like right now, you're at blue buff, trying to give it to Lux, and all these people are in mid lane. And this is what you need to pay attention to. Because right now in mid lane, there's Twitch, there's Annie, and there's Leona. And in top lane, there's Warwick. And you don't see where Elise is at, so she could be over here, she could be here, like she could be anywhere, right? So let's see how this plays out. Because what you see Annie coming to top lane. And I guess you want to like go and kill Annie along the way. Or you see Leona going to top lane. And I don't know like what you see and what you don't see. But this is already a bad idea. Because you're about to walk out in between the AP carry and the like lockdown support. And the AP carry has already like one-shot you once this game. So, and Lux is separated over here. So she can't really help you efficiently if something bad happens. And something bad does happen. So now, like, even though you're walking away from Annie, Twitch was just over here. And he's probably still over here. And it turns out that he is over here. And here he comes. And Elise turned out to be over here as well. And we'll see if Lux actually gets away or not. I guess she does. Oh, nope. So look what happened just now. Because you jumped out to kill Leona, like 3 of your teammates died, or maybe 4, I can't remember. And you lost that blue that you had just given to Lux. And we'll see what, if anything else, like, happens as a result of all that. You might lose the tower as well. Okay. So you saved the tower. But you see what I mean? Like, this whole series of events started because of, you jumping out to kill Leona. Which was a bad idea to start with. And Leona's tanky. I mean, don't forget that. She's not someone you can easily snipe like a Sona or a Janna. And that you get to kill Leona, but it leads to you dying, leads to Trundle dying, leads to Lux dying, leads to Lux losing her blue. All this stuff happened because of this one play. Now right here you get a couple kills in mid lane. And then your whole team sort of comes to mid to push this down. And you go to blue buff. And I think this is sort of a mistake. I think you would have been better off pushing bot lane because it would help your team. Because what happens is everyone, the entire enemy team comes to mid lane to push them off the tower. So this would have been an awesome opportunity for you to take this huge creep wave and take out bot tower. But instead you go for blue buff, which is like important, but it's not as important as a free tower, which is what was like being offered to you right now. Because Annie was dead, and their entire team is over here. And you go for blue buff and then you like are so weak you can't even help in the fight. So I think this would have been a smarter objective to take than going for blue. Or stay with your team in the first place and help them push mid. Because if you were there, maybe this fight could have like turned around more easily. I know you're weak, and Trundle was weak, but you know, there's a greater potential of something good happening. And see, this huge wave, like, it still ends up at the tower, because no one ever came to stop it. And if you were here, helping, this definitely would be dead right now, you know? Let's see, if we skip forward a bit, see now, the situation has changed, and you decide to go for the tower. Like, now your team isn't pushed anymore. Now you're like, okay, solo, you know, stealth mission is Khazix. Even though I am pushed out beyond the enemy team, I am going to stealthily take out this tower. And now it's like, well, why are you doing it now? Like you had a great opportunity. You had a great opportunity to do it before, and you didn't do it. So, and now of course, like, people come to chase you. So like, you sort of relieve pressure off your tower, which is good. And in the end, I don't think you didn't end up dying. You got away. So in the end, it worked out. But this could have easily not gone your way if like Elise didn't randomly shoot her cocoon out here for some reason and stuff like that. So that's I just wanted to hide that sort of contrast. Like you had a really good opportunity to take this before and you didn't do it. Then you waited for a not great opportunity and tried to do it, and it doesn't really make that much sense to me when I watch it. And all this also leads to them getting dragon, because you sort of like drag them over to dragon when you were by yourself and unable to really defend it. So in the end, you saved your tower, but you sort of just handed them dragon. So I don't know. Oh, this again. So once again, you go for Leona. And you know that Twitch is over here, because he was just farming these creeps. And it's, you know, the sort of same sequence of events happens again. You're like, oh, I can kill this court, and then the AD carry shows up and murders you. There you go. So, I don't know, like, what was going on, but you need to be really careful about this, because this has happened a couple times this game, where you leap out and try to kill somebody. Actually, like 3 of your deaths so far have been because you leaped out in the river, tried to kill somebody, and they turned around and killed you instead. So that's something you need to be really careful about whenever you play Khazix. I don't know if you're planning to get the kill, get the reset, and leap back, but it didn't work 3 times in a row so far. Now, at this point in the game, you're sieging this turret, and you're gonna die because you leap in again and don't have an escape plan. So the replay is glitching a bit. But like Leona is way back here, and I don't know why you guys don't just murder her because she's off by herself. And instead you try to get the kill on Elise, who both has her repel available and well, she's Elise, and she's way over here. So what happens is you leap on her, she gets away, and you get murdered. Because she had flash available as well. So I'm pretty sure you're planning to kill her, get the reset, and jump out. So you just sort of like miscalculated your damage. And if you're gonna play this way, like you have to know exactly, you know, can I get the kill or not? Are there escapes down? Whatever. Because that was just this sort of huge misplay. And your whole team ended up dying. And if you fast forward enough, you see they go straight to Baron and they get Baron. All because you guys died up here. So that happened. Now at the 31-minute mark, something interesting happens. You're up here farming creeps. Let me turn off chat.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And this is what, you know, I tell one of my other friends, is to not use your leaping abilities for no reason. Because you use your leap to kill creeps. And this very nearly gets you murdered. Like if Leona had hit her stun properly, and if she had hit that E, you'd be dead 100%. It's only because she missed her skill shots that you're alive, and because your teammate came and gave you that. And this entire thing started with you leaping onto a creep, using your one, like, mobility skill to kill creeps. So, You know, little stupid mistakes like that are the kind of things that can get you killed in the end. So, another thing I want to point out right now is blue buff is up, right? And I'm assuming the reason you're not getting it is because you're planning to give it to Lux. But Lux doesn't need blue buff anymore. She's got 20% cooldown from Athene's, and 20% cooldown from Morello's. So if you give it to her, you are like wasting the CDR buff it gives, which is 20%, and the cap is 40%. So if you're in the situation where blue buff is up, and you want to give it to your mid laner, check their items to make sure they're not already capped at 40% cooldown reduction. Otherwise, it's sort of a waste to give it to them, because they probably have enough mana to, like, be fine. She's got 2 mana items, which are also CDR items, so she doesn't need blue buff that much. And, just to show you what I mean with the tier, it's the 37-minute mark right now, and you are still charging it. You're almost got it charged, but basically, you don't have this charged until the game is basically over. Because in the end, you know, we can just speed through this replay. You know, you've already done so much damage to their base that your team basically just walks up and wins the game. But I mean, like, from my perspective, you made a lot of bad choices this game, and they got you killed. Like, almost all the times you died were because of a decision you made and it didn't work out, or like, you misplayed a bit. But your team won anyway. So, like, if you go through and fix all these mistakes, you're going to, like, win even more. You know what I mean? So, that's all things I have to say about this replay.